The night my marriage almost shattered didn't begin with shouting. It began with a trembling hand reaching for mine. I had no idea a quiet spring evening on our porch, stars blinking into the dark, coffee cooling between us, would change the way I saw everything. She took a breath that sounded more like a sob. Then, almost inaudibly, "There's something I need to tell you. Something I should have told you years ago." Time didn't stop, but something in me did. We'd been married for 6 years. Together nearly a decade. Ours wasn't flashy, it was safe, comfortable, real. She knew how I liked my coffee with a hint of cinnamon. I knew when a single glance meant she'd had a rough day. We didn't need to say much to feel connected. Or so I thought. But now her hand trembled in mine, and her eyes avoided mine like they couldn't carry the weight of what was coming. "Back when we were still dating, before we got engaged," she said, barely above a whisper, "I kissed someone." She looked like someone confessing to a crime. Maybe because it was one, at least to me. It was a work party. Too much wine. I didn't stop it right away, and I didn't tell you. A heavy silence settled between us. My heart didn't race. It dropped, like it had slipped into a darker place. "It meant nothing," she said quickly. "But the guilt never left me. I thought it would fade. Didn't. Every time you trusted me. Every time you told me how honest I was. It was like a knife." She paused, wiping tears with a shaking hand. "I was a coward. You deserved the truth and I failed you. But I couldn't carry it anymore. I didn't shout. I didn't cry. I just stared at her, like she was someone else entirely. Like I just discovered a hidden chapter in a book I thought I knew by heart. It wasn't the kiss that shattered me. It was the silence. The 6 years of pretending. 6 years of me believing we were clean, while she carried a shadow I never saw. "Say something," she whispered. But I couldn't. Not then. I stood up and left the porch. Not because I hated her, but because the ground beneath me no longer felt real. That night, I lay awake on the couch. Our life played in fragments across my mind like scenes from a movie I was no longer sure was mine. Our wedding day. Her laughing as we painted the living room, smearing paint on my nose. Her crying tears of joy when I gave her a handmade card that simply read, "You. Always you." Had she thought about her secret during those moments? Had guilt shadowed her joy? 2 days passed in silence. We didn't speak. We just floated, like ghosts in the same house. I watched her sometimes. Quiet moments that broke my heart more than her words ever could. Crying at the sink. Staring at our wedding album. Smiling without reaching her eyes. On the 3rd night, I stood silently in our bedroom doorway. She was brushing her hair. 80 strokes, as always. Familiar. Fragile. She wasn't a villain. She was the woman who brought me soup when I was sick. Who still laughed at my awful puns. Who once held my face in both hands and whispered, "I choose you." And now she was choosing the truth. Finally, a week later, I told her I was ready to talk. We sat across from each other at the same table where we'd shared thousands of meals. Late-night snacks, arguments, dreams. "Why now?" I asked. She didn't hesitate. "Because I couldn't carry it anymore. And you deserved someone who wasn't pretending to be perfect. Did you ever try to tell me before?" 3 times, she said. "Our wedding day, the night you were sick in the hospital, and last Christmas, when you called me the most honest person you knew. Would you have ever told me if the guilt hadn't crushed you?" She didn't blink. I want to say yes, but the truth is, I don't know. There it was. Honesty. Not pretty, not packaged, but raw, real. "I don't expect forgiveness," she added. But I had to stop lying, even if it meant breaking us. That broke something else in me, too. Not anger, not trust, but the illusion of perfection. "No more secrets," I said quietly. "Not ever again, even if they hurt." She nodded, crying openly now. "No more secrets. Ever." I couldn't promise to forget, but I could choose to understand. That night we sat together, flipping through old photos. Not talking much, just existing in the same space. A space no longer haunted by what wasn't said. 3 months have passed. We're not the same. Some days are hard. Some nights I still wonder. But those moments are becoming less frequent. We started therapy, built new rituals, weekly check-ins where we say the hard stuff, not just the small stuff. Do I trust her the same way? No. But maybe that old trust wasn't real. It was blind. What we're building now is different, honest, even when it's ugly. Last week, she found an old note I once left in her book. It read, "To my person, the one I can always count on." She left it on my pillow with her own note. "I'm becoming that person again. Thank you for not giving up on me." Forgiveness isn't a moment. It's not a line you cross and move on. It's a decision you make again and again to keep walking together. Because sometimes the truth doesn't set you free. It just clears the fog so you can see what's really there. Two imperfect people standing in the wreckage of honesty, still choosing each other.